I think we'll adjust the camera to.
But we're gonna need to do.
I think we're gonna have to put a marker on his head. I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be the.
Is that gonna be
John
all
was
right?
watching, he said, how are they tracking it without some sort of marker on your head? Just show us, John, like about how much head movement you have. You have pretty good head movement, I guess you
Right, so it's sort of like
somewhat restricted.
like 20 millimeters. Yeah, by the head thing, yeah.
And so the idea is, like John, right now you have pretty good head movement, but just think about in the early days when you were just starting to get some of that head movement return, and if you had something like this that could give you some sort of feedback mechanisms.
This looks like right now. Nice.
You are conducting now.
Well, now let's see if you always have a trace. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go, that
That's
nice
cool.
continuous movement. Those are nice smooth movements.
Yeah, like calligraphy, Chinese I mean, I've never observed any of John's rehabilitative practices, but it seems like it's kind of motivating you to move your head. Does it feel that way? Excellent.
Much more refined kind of movement.
Well, that's another opportunity, Susan, is that it's entirely possible that you could program this to look for particular kinds of gestures. I mean, like,
Match a pattern.
well, to give them a goal of making a circle, for instance, as a goal.
That fits in with that thing we were talking about before, where you've got a trace of some kind of behind it, kind of like tracing paper almost. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but it fits in with our own work because the kind of gesture. I mean, this is where the computer science department could fit into this too, because they're the ones who are the experts at gesture analysis and.
For people who maybe have neck pain, where a kind of a slow motion, range of motion might be useful. Because this would be a way of distracting them from the pain,
Yeah.
but giving them something visual to focus on while they slowly self-range.
Yeah.
And for people who, like, in the early days for you, John, when you had just barely perceptible movement, this can be scaled such
Way
that
down, yes.
it could capture that little bit of movement and still give you that kind of feedback.
All right. Well, for me, that's what I needed to see.
John, thank you so much.
You are such a champ, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that it'll work with a webcam. We'd have to try. But the other thing you could do is that I can change it in Isadora. So instead of looking for the brightest thing in the frame, we can make a green dot, and it does color tracking instead of brightness tracking, so that they just put a pure green dot on their head, and as long as there's no other pure green in the frame, then it totally would work with a webcam.
Dragging something?
It's just that you're on kind of like some rubber and some carpet, so it's a little strange. Yeah, you're okay. You're straight.